Hello, this is Deborah White, and I'm reporting in regarding one of my last classes in this educational technology degree. This week we're covering ethical and theological issues with regards to technology in education. We had an Ask the Expert video from Dr. David Brown covering many things and how it happens specifically with regards to the campus of Liberty University. He was teaching us about Turnitin and Safe Assign and ways that the university protects metadata and uses it to deal with plagiarism. One thing that was muddy in his report to us was that there is not seemingly consistent consequences for plagiarism, or that perhaps they are not fit for the crime. They are responding to something that should be very important. Dr. Veek then taught us about the Fair Use and Teach Act policies that help us with copyright issues in education, and I really appreciated his report on both. I was left with one muddy point though. He mentioned in the Teach Act that in order to use it, you had to be at a school that was in fact in compliance with the Teach Act, and I have no idea what that means for the school to be in compliance with it in order for the teacher to use the act. So I'd love it if somebody wanted to chime in with an explanation on that. Our overview by Dr. Rockinson Zapicue gave some specific scenarios for us to consider that do come up as educational technologists in handling ethics for internet use and computer use. And she gave one of her scenarios with people being concerned about cognitive ambiguity. That was one that I had a hard time understanding because, well, I do think of the internet as giving us access to greater stores of information, more knowledge, not less. And usually cognitive ambiguity is for communicating something with not enough knowledge. But I really would like to end this post with covering the idea of the fact that we can become too concerned about these issues. Not because I'm soft on ethical issues or where it stands between us and God when we use any tool. They all should be used to His glory. But sometimes we have a problem with what Karen Cater of the United States Department of Education calls over-compliance. One of the things that is difficult for all of us in the fields of educational technology is dealing with resistance to moving forward with the changes that are necessary to have technology adequately integrated into education. Some of this resistance comes from the very concept that Cater is reporting on. She followed 6 different areas where she said schools are simply over-complying with federal guidelines. She said that with content filtering, people are so worried about the Children's Internet Protection Act, or what we call CIPA, that they are needing reassurances that accessing YouTube is not violating CIPA rules, that websites don't have to be blocked for teachers, and that broad filters are not helpful, that any site should always have the opportunity to be included in a teacher's use, and that if she needs it, if a teacher needs it unblocked, they should have a policy and access to their IT to unblock individual sites. She reassured people that schools will not lose their E-rate funding by unblocking those appropriate sites, and she said that kids need to be taught how to become responsible digital citizens, and that teachers should be trusted to guide them in that instead of being blocked from even noting how this all happens in the real world online. Thank you for listening.